a nip in the air. What more could you want when you're playing high school football in Nebraska?
You know, it's one of those drizzles that if our camera crew gets a shot of the lights, it looks worse than it is. You know, and the viewers, it's really bad out here. It's not that bad out here. It's actually kind of nice out here. Cool, although could cause some ball handling issues throughout the game. But big thing is, this is a huge game. These two teams have met so many times over the years. You've got, it feels like the entire neighborhood, people parking into the residential areas with this being a local rivalry. And both these teams are going to the playoffs as well. Now, Waverly's spot is secured atop, but Pius can do some movement, and they can get a better matchup here in the playoffs with a win tonight.
Interesting, too, we talked to both coaches. It's not going to change their approach from Waverly's standpoint. Obviously, for Pius, when you have additional wild card seating to play for, the big hurdle for Pius, Jack, is they have their third-string quarterback, Dominic Miller, getting his first ever high school start, just a sophomore. You know, first game, why not take on the number one team in the state?
Yeah, boy, I just saw easily the starting quarterback over in the senior day festivities in his jersey, but no pads, and you had to feel for him. But sounds like he's got a chance of coming back, and you get to test your depth here in this game. Nothing like testing depth against the number one team in Class B. Did play a little bit last week in their game as well. And so we'll see what he's able to do against this Waverly team that just went out and beat Norris in a huge matchup.
Waverly 8-0, defeated Norris on a last-second field goal to do it. As for Pius, they're on a two-game winning streak, currently sitting at 4-4 on the season. Stay with us. More pregame coming up. We'll talk key players as we get closer to kickoff here on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back, Brandon Axmit, Jack Mitchell. Time to talk key players. And first off for Pius, Jack, we're going with Charlie Morrow, the senior. He is a leading receiver for Pius, but such a weapon, and especially because of the fact that Dominic Miller is starting at quarterback. Coach Carney said we'll probably get him the ball a lot more than normal perhaps.
Well, and they already get him the ball a whole lot, and so they're going to be looking his way. Normally you kind of think your quarterback is going to be your leader on the field. I think to some degree Morrow, being a senior and being such a focus of this offense, he might have to get in there in the huddle and, hey, kind of say, hey, guys, you know, here we go. Here's what we're doing here. But Morrow is going to be huge, and if they have a chance at pulling the upset, he's going to have to be really big for this Pius offense tonight.
Coach Carney couldn't talk more highly about his athleticism. Expect him to carry the ball as well. On the flip side, for Waverly, we'll be seeing a lot of carries for this senior, Nathan Axman. He has rushed for over 1,000 yards. He's the leading rusher and leading receiver for the Vikings. He's accounted for 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, they've got a good passer in Tepley, but they like to give the ball to Axman a whole lot. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing this year, got a kind of a combination of speed and power. I think you're going to get a big dose of him, especially with a little bit of the weather coming on tonight, and maybe Waverly want to get this thing in the bag. I bet we'll see a lot of Axman. He can add to those gaudy rushing totals he's got for the season already.
Kickoff continues to get closer here at Aldrich Field. Stay with us. We're going to talk to both head coaches, Coach Carney for Pius and Coach Manstead for Waverly, as our pregame show continues here on News Channel Nebraska.
It's time to get in the game. When you team up with teammates, you don't need pads or a playbook. 1 hour a week can encourage a student in your community to win in school and in life. Hundreds of young people are waiting for a mentor to show up and build their confidence, character, and hope for the future. Be the teammate every young person deserves. Clock is ticking. Sign up at teammates.org today. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Pre-game show is brought to you by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports. Check them out at CustomSportsCode.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speedy Mart. When you have to fuel your journey and feed the crew, whether it's many or a few, Speedy Mart is fresh, ready, super clean, and convenient.
Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
And when you make a pit stop, it's gotta be fast. Easy in, easy out. Speedy Mart for the win.
other companies have the revolving door. Every time we come into Schaefer's, it's always the same people. And the big thing to me is they know you by name. They know who you are, which makes a person like myself feel just warm and welcome here. And that's what's great about Schaefer's.
Schaefer's has the essential Whirlpool appliances you need, from refrigerators and air fry ranges to laundry pairs to keep your clothes clean and sanitized at everyday low prices. At Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances.
Welcome back to our pregame show. Joining us, Pius head coach Ryan Carney. Coach, final week of the regular season. You're in the playoffs no matter what. You're playing the top seed and the number one team in Class B. How are you feeling about tonight? How are you approaching it as a head coach?
Well, anytime you get to come out and play a game in this environment, you're excited to do it. I think, we're building towards, we want to play our best football here at the end of the season. Our guys have done a nice job of preparing this week, and we've played good football teams before, and so this will just be another challenge.
Started off the season 2-4, but you've rattled off 2 straight. What have you seen from your team in the past 2 weeks specifically that's helped lead to that success and build some momentum?
We're a little more consistent in our execution. We're doing some things a little bit better up front. We found a couple things that our guys have really been able to execute at a high level, and so we're kind of leaning into those things here.
Well, Coach, we talked about it earlier this week. Third-string quarterback getting the start for you tonight. His first start against number 1 Waverly. How are you feeling about that, and how have you been coaching Dominic up preparing for this big moment?
We've been coaching Dominic all year to be prepared to help, and it's his turn to step in that role with a couple injuries in front of him, and we expect him to do his job. Certainly we're going to try to give him things that we can be successful at, but, he's just another guy on the team, and he's been preparing for this, so we expect he's going to play well.
Coach, I appreciate the time. Looking forward to a good one tonight.
Thank you very much.
It's head coach Ryan Carney as we prepare for Pius versus Waverly on News Channel Nebraska. Stay with us. More pregame when we return.
From the heart of Nebraska to across the state, RMV Construction is building more than just structures. We're building trust. RMV Construction has grown from humble beginnings to become a trusted name across central Nebraska and beyond. With unmatched craftsmanship, cutting-edge innovation, and an unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction, we deliver projects on time, on budget, and above expectations. Trusted, local, proven. RMV Construction in Kearney and Lincoln. Let's build your vision together.
And welcome back to our pregame show. Joining us now, Waverly head coach Reed Manstead of the number 1 team, Waverly Vikings. Coach, 8-0 so far this season, flawless up to this point in terms of your record. What has allowed you and the Vikings to have success up to this point?
Well, we've done a really good job of just controlling what we can control, not beating ourselves. And that's something we focus on each week, is trying to be, sound in all 3 phases of the game. It's something that we take a lot of pride in, not trying to commit a lot of penalties, not turning the ball over. So we've done a good job of that, and that's been a huge success with it. And also, too, the boys are obviously working really hard.
Had a great game last week, huge game against Norris. A lot saying perhaps one of the better games they've seen in high school football this year and for several years. How has your team responded in practice this week coming off such a dramatic victory?
Well, it took years off my life is what it did. But it was a fun one. And anytime you can get into a close game like that and come out on top, that's a really good, that's a big deal, because, there's certain teams who find ways to lose close games, and there's certain teams that find ways to win close games. And it's good that we've been in a few close games. We've been able to try to find ways to do that. Says a lot about the group. But the number one thing that I took away from last week was the resilience of the boys. They got down a couple times. They did not panic. They stayed the course and gave themselves a chance to be successful. In the end, they did it.
Lastly, it's final week of the regular season. You have the top seed locked up for the playoffs. Does that change your approach to tonight, and how do you attack this game against Pius?
No, it's the same approach as always. We can only afford to be getting better right now. This is not the time of year where you want to rest guys. This isn't the time of year where you want to take a step back. As I told the guys, all we can do right now is to continue to get better, because if we want to accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish, we don't have any room for error, any room for taking a step back. It's just all forward right now.
Coach, appreciate it. Best of luck tonight. We're looking forward to a great game.
All right, thank you very much.
Head coach Reed Manstead with the Waverly Vikings. We're closer to kick between Pius and Waverly. Stay with us. More pregame show coming up on News Channel Nebraska.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of pain, not just the symptoms. Schaefer's, we're more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
There's the drizzle that Jack was talking about in our pregame show. It is bad here at Aldrich Field. It's football weather.
It looks so much worse on the TV than it is real. But I don't want you guys to think we weren't very brave in fighting the elements here at Aldrich Field tonight. So that's it could impact play a little bit there, but not too cold actually, and it really isn't all that wet. But again, could have some ball control issues that come along with that.
Well, let's take a look at our school spotlights as the band's playing. Teams are coming out on the field, starting off with the visiting number 1, Waverly Vikings, undefeated. Entering tonight, they're in the Eastern Midlands Conference, 516 enrollment in NSAA District 1. We mentioned a perfect 8-0, Jack, their best season, 1 state title in 1980. They also were runners-up in 1975, but man, they got a real shot to add a second this year.
Well, yeah, with that win over Norris, that kind of puts them at the king of the hill position, at least going into the playoffs for Class B. And as we said, they've got that 1 seed locked up no matter what happens here tonight.
On the flip side, for the home team, Pius, a very proud program in their own right. They have 6 state titles to their name as well. No runners-up. If they make the final, Jack, they are winning it. 75, 78, 97, 98, and most recently in 2004
yeah,
for Pius.
2004 was a very memorable game. Those Pius fans who are watching definitely, if they're old enough, remember that.
Victory over McCook, 14-9 in that championship. That is our school spotlight. It's time for kickoff. Glad you're with us. Week 9 showdown here in East Lincoln in Class B.
Yeah, Pius had a future NFL kicker ready to kick a field goal to win that game, and they didn't need to use him in that situation. Greg Zerline, I'm talking about. They didn't need to use him because they scored a long touchdown, I want to say 30, 40 yards, and didn't even have to use the future NFL kicker. So he had to save his big kicks for the NFL.
And he didn't do too bad in that regard, as Pius, his alma mater, will be getting the ball first here to start things off.
Yeah, heck of a deal, too, with really a third-string quarterback here getting the start here on the last game of the year on Senior Day, with Pius dealing with some injuries.
And so, as you mentioned, we'll take a look at this Pius starting lineups. Dominic Miller is the quarterback getting the start. You mentioned Maddox Easley, who Coach Ryan Carney says they do think will come back next week.
Yeah.
Doring, the leading rusher for this Pius offense with 321 yards. We mentioned Morrow. He is who they want to get the ball to out in space. Morrow will probably be getting some carries as well. Miller, they said, just manage the game as best you can. Do your job. You heard Coach Carney say it, and it's going to be interesting. Start number 1 of this young man's career as a sophomore.
You got a lot of senior experience around him. You got a big offensive line here for Pius, too. So, yeah, good play like that right away. Easy, no-pressure play for the sophomore quarterback there.
And right on cue, as Coach Carney told us, let's get Morrow the ball.
Exactly.
A little pitch to him for 3.
Yeah, exactly. Even if he's not lined up as a running back, they'll find ways to get him the ball like that situation. And 3-yard gain there to start off for the Thunderbolts here.
One thing that was a strength for this Bolts team, according to Coach Carney, is the line up front. They're big in their experience when you look at Gomez 230, Mollendor 260, Roberts 235, and Lang 270. Got a lot of big boys up there trying to pave the way as this one is handed off to Doring.
And I think that's a real that's a step forward. You know, we saw Pius a couple of years ago. You and I, Brandon, did a game. I think maybe it was in 23 when Pius played East. And there was just, when Pius was still playing in A, it was their last year in A, and there was just a marked size difference that year across the lines. And that's definitely not always been the case for Pius, but I think that's a real step in the right direction. Just to you kind of dealt the hand you get, too, in terms of size sometimes, but I think that's helped them this year, and they're going to rely on those guys here on a 3rd and 4 play.
We had Morrow with a 3-yard pickup, then Doring also with 3, setting up this 3rd and 4. And looks like we had movement pre-snap.
Yeah, don't want. Boy, tough penalty there for Pius. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, and that turns a 3rd and 4 into 3rd and 9. And you can see they were still going to keep it on the ground there. What's going to be interesting here is if they're confident in what Miller can do with the ball. Waverly has got. I mean, they're putting their cornerbacks on an island against the wide receivers. I've got to imagine at some point, whether it's Morrow or Schottenkirk or Mettinger, they're going to put one up and just kind of say, hey, this is going to be a 50-50 ball at worst, because take a look as we'll get the wide shot here in a second, and it's a cover 0 situation for Waverly almost every time.
Yep, they send pretty much everyone and say, lock them up one-on-one, and so Dominic Miller's first pass of the night, it goes to Morrow. It was put right on the money. Is Morrow going to get there? Chased down from behind. But what a way to start your sophomore career as your first start.
That was a bullet on the money. I was talking about, lofting one up for a 50-50 ball. This instead is through 2 defenders in stride tomorrow. What a catch. What a throw by the sophomore. Wow. I thought a pass was coming like that. It's a deeper pass was coming at some point. That's not what I expected it to look like, Brandon. Wow. I'm impressed. I'm kind of surprised they ran the first 3 plays now after seeing that.
And being so impressed by that, I'm not sure who caught Morrow, but that was also extremely impressive to run him down. That was a 64-yard gain for Pius. And, again, whoever it was for that Waverly defense who caught him.
Although 9 looks like a big guy. I'm not sure. He was fast. He was, we talked earlier about Morrow's speed, but that was track speed from whoever it was from Waverly who caught him there on that play.
And we're being told from the truck it is, in fact, Riley Bowker who we're looking at, who made the tackle.
That's some speed there. Yeah, Morrow's going to watch that one and say, man, I assume he knew he had somebody hot on his trail there, and they ended up getting down got him at the 10-yard line still. So still some work to do for Pius, but man, you talk about a play that can impact this quarterback's confidence immediately. I can't imagine a better way to start the game if you're Pius and just kind of opening up the playbook, because again, I feel like that Waverly defense is daring you to throw.
3rd and long, and the Bolts convert. They're now 1st and goal to go from the 10 off of that 64-yard completion to Morrow.
And by the way, they did drop a safety back on that play. That when you saw the 2 guys that Morrow threw it in between, one of those was the safety that dropped back.
So after the timeout, we're back in action. Hard count from Miller. And off to Doring, who gets to the edge, and he'll take it in. 10-yard run for Doring. And how about that? The Bolts come and hit number 1 Waverly in the mouth on their opening drive.
And Carter Goki, the tight end, I don't know if you'll see it on this replay here, 45 for Pius. Absolutely, there it is on the corner of the screen. Drove his man out of bounds. Great blocking by the Pius offensive line and tight end on that right side. I mean, that hole was right there, and my goodness, this drive for Pius was a heck of a way to start out this game against the number 1 team in the state.
And PAT's good as well. We're off and running here at Aldrich Field. The Bolts get 7 on the game's opening drive, led by 3rd-string sophomore quarterback Dominic Miller in his first start. Stay with us. Waverly looks to respond when we return here on News Channel Nebraska.
spend with purpose because I bank with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. With my Liberty Plus checking account, I can earn extra cash just for spending on everyday things, like groceries, online or in-store purchases, and lunch. At Liberty First, anyone can join, so start earning money to spend on the things you love. Start banking with purpose. Start banking with Liberty First Credit Union.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people. Now we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Welcome back. Brandon Axman, Jack Miller. The fireworks have started here early on with the opening drive of the game for Pius, and they go with a little squib kick, which Waverly is able to field, picked up by Cale Lade for a short return.
I'm not sure if that was designed by, I assume it was by design, but not totally sure there. All right, well now looking forward to seeing, this Waverly offense. We talked about it in the pregame. You've got obviously the running back, as we discussed, in Axman there, but Broxton Tepley has been really, really good. Came over from Lincoln Southwest. We saw him from Lincoln Southwest last year. He can throw it a lot, but they'll go about 70-30 runs, so Axman's going to have a lot of carries tonight, I would expect.
And right on cue, Axman bouncing it outside. Looks like he gets about 8 as we take a look at the starting lineups for Waverly. We talked about Axman and his 1,100-plus rushing yards and a lot of touchdowns, and you mentioned it too. If you aren't doing it with Axman, you then have the great quarterback in Broxton Templey. He has passed for over 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns. He's getting D1 looks by Power 5 schools, Minnesota, among them Iowa State and others, all looking at the junior. Those are the two main threats, but then you have 5 different receivers on this Waverly team who've gone for over 100 yards. So a lot of weapons, and that could have been picked off. And who else? Charlie Morrow was in the vicinity.
That was flirting with disaster there. Morrow looked like he'd seen that play before to me. He was, trying to get that block right at the outset there by Cale Lade, and Morrow just kind of went around it there. And, that could have been 6 for Pius. Unless you got another speedster to run him down on the offense for Waverly, which you might.
3rd down and 1 goes to Axman. He is hit behind the line. That might go down for a short loss even. It'll bring up 4th.
Wow. This Pius team is playing inspired to start this game. And, you kind of wondered because Waverly and talking to the coach said, look, we're going to play it. We're not going to be resting people. We're not doing that kind of a thing. But you wonder how much of a sort of a mental, hey, got to get fired up, got to get ready for this thing, knowing, hey, we just came off our biggest game of the season, and we're going into the playoff as a number 1 seed no matter what. And they're going to go for this, at least line up to.
Pius will need to look out for the hard count. Templey tries it, doesn't get anybody. Vikings take a timeout.
Timeout, Waverly.
All right, now you think they're going to punt it?
I think probably.
I don't think they want to. I don't think Axman gets stopped right in the middle of the line like that. I was just going to say, talk about how one of the things Pius is going to have to do to slow down this Waverly offense, which not a lot of teams have, including Norris, is really tackle with Axman, because he's got speed, but he's also got some power as a runner, and as you can see, he's got some size. And Waverly looks, I'm sure Pius will come out in a safe punt coverage here, watching for a fake, but Waverly will punt this. So
Morrow back to return this near the 15. Nathan Scholl takes the snap. Does punt it away.
Good punt.
That'll be down near the 10. But if you are Pius, you couldn't have asked for a better start. You go 70 yards roughly on the opening drive, and then you get a 3 and out on the other end.
Absolutely. Now you want to hang on to that ball a little bit, I think, if you're Pius too, right? You'd like to keep that Waverly offense off the field at this point, eat up a little bit of clock, and see if you can get ahead in this game. 2 possessions, and it's a little early to be thinking about that. 7:53 left in the first, but I do think in the end, the game plan for Pius is to minimize the possessions that Waverly has in this game. Hang on to the ball.
7-0 your score. On the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest A stop today. Pius starts this one on their own 10-yard line. And Miller hands it off. Short gain up the middle. That was carried by Noah Barnes.
Ball carried by Noah Barnes.
Really good job by this Pius offensive line early in the game, as we mentioned on that touchdown. But Waverly's aggressive with run blitzing. They've got a nose tackle that can create a lot of havoc too. I know, kind of the middle of that defensive line as well. And so far, it's been pushing forward for Pius every time they've run the ball so far.
Back to Barnes. There was a issue with the exchange. And he'll set up another 3rd and
fumble on the play
and long.
Kind of squirted out. Now I don't know if that had to do with the ball probably being a little bit wet. I can't tell. It does look like the mist is coming down a little bit harder than when we were out there. Or, you got a different quarterback that you're not used to taking the ball from, and just a little tweak in the hand position, the placement, the height, any of that could also have been an issue there. So I'm not sure exactly what might have happened there, but Norris lucky to land on it. And here we go with the 3rd down play. Once again, it's fascinated to see what happens here if they bring their sophomore quarterback and try and have him sling it again.
Pressure coming. Miller pump fakes. This time he's taken down for a sack. The Viking defense gets to him, and the Thunderbolts will be forced to punt it away.
Miller tackled in the backfield by number 65, Tyson Heine.
That is the calling card for this Vikings defensive unit. Looks like one of the first to get to him, Sam Dakey.
Yeah, he had a little bit of time at the outset there, but as you saw, number 12 there on the left side of the Waverly defensive line got the pressure on and kind of made him squirt out to that other side and was not able to get it off. And so another nice punt.
Fair catch made at the 42. Vikings will get their second crack at it.
Fair catch for the Vikings. First down at the 42.
Well, a reminder that this broadcast and our high school football coverage in Lincoln is presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Our coverage is also brought to you thanks to Medica. With the Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for. And Teammates Mentoring. Join the team, be a mentor, go to teammates.org today. Templey handing it off to Axman, who is met in the backfield. That's running back meeting running back. Noah Barnes coming in there and blowing it up.
Yeah, he's easy to find with the protective cover over his helmet there. And Barnes, he looked like he was shot out of the defensive backfield like he is when he shot out of the offensive backfield after last play dropping that ball that he was involved in there, making a great play and able to find a hole there on the line. He was basically untouched getting through there.
So this Pius defense coming to play. Axman with 3 carries. 2 of them have gone for a loss.
Wow.
Obviously that'll perhaps change as the game goes on, but a great start for Pius containing the talented rusher. Now Templey to the air, puts it right on the money. Pass caught by Crew Verkamp.
Tepley looks good there. He looks the part, size, smooth throw. Obviously, he's done a lot of work. And great throw there.
Third down.
And he's getting some looks as we heard from the Waverly head coach, some initial looks for even some D1 programs right now. And he's, as you can see, he's kind of got that build that is attractive to D1 schools, got the size as well.
Minnesota, Iowa State, Michigan State, the schools that Coach Manstead gave us as Axman picks up the first.
Ball carried by Nathan Axman. First down at the 30. Tackles made by Caleb
You can see why this offense for Waverly is so dangerous. Just that combination of Axman in the running game and then Tepley throwing it. And still, when you're still predominantly a running team, but you've got a quarterback who really can sling the ball and just pop it out there, use play action, those sorts of things. You can see why they've been so lethal this year.
Templey hit as he throws, and it's hauled in. Brady Schieffer puts the Vikings in business. That catch inside of the 10.
Tepley's pass is complete to Schieffer.
I'm going to take a look at this. First of all, that snap, he had to reach up with one big paw and get it, and he did end up taking the hit on that play. I don't know if that made him take a little something off that or if it was kind of designed to the back shoulder, but nonetheless, ended up hitting the receiver. Big gain there, all the way down to the 5-yard line. Waverly looking to tie this thing up before the end of the first quarter.
25-yard pickup. Ball on about the 6. Hand off to Axman, who tries to bounce it outside. Nowhere to go. Again, the Pius defense containing him. That time it was Carter Goki gobbling him up.
Boy, really impressed again with this Pius defensive front, the front 7, the ability to string that one out. It appears, Pius is playing for the run on this defense, and, I think they're going to probably means Tepley is going to be taking some shots at some point, but you figure, hey, look, it's already a weather situation. They may be a little bit reluctant to do it. And so, hey, if they're gonna beat us, it might need to be through the air.
You got the Maryland eye as Axman gets the handoff. Picks up a few right up the gut.
Axman, the ball carrier.
All right, if you're Waverly, do you kind of get stubborn and you're like, all right, we're going to run the ball. I don't care if it's 2 more times, right, on this Pius defense and kind of exert our will, even just to prove it to both sides here, or do you look at, you got on the bottom of the screen here, you got a little bit of outside of your picture, a size mismatch.
There is Axman, churning, he gets in there for the score. So the Vikings respond on the 3-yard carry by Axman.
So they did. He was in the Wildcat on that play, and got some blocking there from that offensive line. Got a little bit of a push that they hadn't really seen so far during the game, and they get it in, tie the game up, and now see if they can get the point after here by the kicker, who was the hero last week, by the way, against Norris.
Kick that field goal, 20-yard field goal as time expired to defeat the Titans in just a back-and-forth shootout. It's Gavin Fowler, and he puts this one right down the middle.
All right.
So 1:39 to go in the first. We're tied 7-all here at Aldrich Field. Lincoln, Nebraska. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Week 9 high school football on NCN.
20 kids, 1 SUV, and 1 mission. Snacks. Speedy Mart is where the snack squad rolls deep. Whether it's before the first pitch or after the final out, we've got drinks, treats, and all the fuel to keep your team going strong. Speedy Mart convenience stores. Quick, convenient, and always ready when the team rolls in. Speedy Mart. Snack strong, play strong.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a
experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go. Yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. We have wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
And welcome back. Less than 2 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. It's 7-7 between number 1 Waverly and Pius. Here on News Channel Nebraska, that one rolls out of play. Will be an illegal procedure penalty. Officially 1:39 to go here in this first quarter. That's brought to you by John Henry's. Our family serving yours. John Henry's our first quarter sponsor here on News Channel Nebraska.
I'm sure Pius really appreciates being able to get out of the proverbial shadow of their own goalpost. That was where they were after going backwards a couple of times during that last drive, and just a little bit more room to operate, a little bit more room to maybe play the position game, the field position game, I should say. Got a couple of punters who look like they're going to be able to, be effective doing that tonight. And so, although maybe if you're Pius, you're like, hey, let's put it up in the air again with our quarterback who's 1 for 1 with what
64
yards. Yeah. It's a good quarterback rating.
Bunch formation here. Doring gets the ball, not much there as he tried to bounce it outside.
Ball carried by Doring.
Pius still kind of reluctant to. I mean, they've got 2 pass attempts during the game, both on those third down plays, right? The one that went for 60 plus yards, and then the sacks so far. I thought maybe they'd be just kind of with that shot of confidence. Maybe they try and catch him with some play action here, especially again while Waverly is really coming up on the run. Not so much with this formation here, but they have been other times during the game and blitzing a ton too.
Doring finding space as he reverses field. He gets across midfield, a huge pickup of 15 plus and a first down.
I liked how he ran. I liked that. Just some great vision by him on that play. And he's got that neck roll too. So you're kind of surprised. You think he's gonna move like a big middle linebacker, and not at all. Look at this here, right here. And gets through there, and right before that, changes directions. Like, he psyched me out with the neck roll. I didn't think he was going to be able to move horizontally like that.
You know, that's an excellent point that I hadn't noticed until you say that. But yes, a shifty, agile neck roll running back.
Right?
Plays tricks with your mind.
I just thought he was going to run into everybody, right? It's kind of a stereotype. Yeah. Maybe he's doing it on purpose.
Well, they give it to him again, but there's a flag thrown pre-snap against the Bolts.
Dead ball, illegal procedure against Pius.
You see Dominic Miller coming to the sideline frustrated there. He wants to get in a rhythm with this offense.
And that will see the clock wind down
That's the end of the first
to wrap up quarter number 1 here from Lincoln. It is 7-7 between number 1 Waverly and Pius. Here on News Channel Nebraska. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second quarter.
A truck that's built to handle the toughest tasks. The GMC Sierra 2500 from Woodhouse Buick GMC. With available turbo diesel power, a reinforced frame, and advanced trailering tech, it's heavy-duty capability without compromise. Take advantage of exclusive offers happening now. Visit us in-store or shop online today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are grade.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Welcome back. Brandon Axamit Jack Mitchell with you. News Channel Nebraska Week 9 matchup, Class B. Number 1 Waverly taking on Pius here at Aldrich Field. It's 7-7. Opening drive of the game was capped off by a 10-yard touchdown run by Rylan Doring for Pius. And then after a 3-and-out by each team, Waverly was able to respond, string a drive together that was capped off by Nathan Axman, punching it in from 3 yards out. That's how we find ourselves at this score as we start this second quarter.
Not exactly sure what happened there. Running back got, maybe it was a uniform adjustment or something like that. I couldn't tell, but the ref had just come back up behind Doring and sent him off the field. He ran to the sideline, and then we got a late flag on this, too.
Ball carried by Noah Barnes. Penalty marker on the field.
The entire Pius sideline was reacting to whatever it was that happened. Face mask.
Face mask against Waverly.
All right, well, Pius had been the only one in the
5-yard penalty.
The penalty column so far, and hurt a couple of their drives there. And face mask on that one, and they only, let's see.
Looks like they didn't give him a personal foul or the first automatic first down.
Do they still have the 5 and the 15 versions in high school? 6.
You know, we need to go into the NSAA rule book.
How much did he gain on that play then?
Oh, wait, hold on. So now it is to a first down. I think we have a chain game situation.
Okay.
So it is, yeah. They
the
just now
scoreboard
changed
says
it.
2nd and 6, which I don't think it is.
I was going to say the same thing. It should have been 50. And now we have a flag as there's a apparent sack coming in by Tyson Haney. Haney, rather. A lot going on. We were thrown off by, was it automatic first down or not?
Right.
It was. But now this play happened. Have a flag. What's going on? We're regrouping here.
So on that one, and this is where maybe we saw a little bit of Miller's youth here, you need to get rid of this, right? Needed to get rid of it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Holding penalty is declined.
And maybe he was concerned he wasn't out of the tackle box, didn't have a receiver there, didn't want to get an intentional grounding there, but didn't have his first option there. They were setting up something big there. Again, they're going to take some shots on that, especially if they have the confidence he can make those throws. And so now, I think it's 2nd and 20, I believe.
It should be. The scoreboard's saying 3rd. The chain game's saying 2nd. Pretty sure we're on 2nd and 20. And there's a run up the middle for about 6. And now we're all on the same page. That was, in fact, 2nd and 20. All right. So it's still going to be 3rd and long.
Still didn't seem like they moved the chain. It still didn't seem like they took 15 yards off on that penalty. Maybe I'm estimating incorrectly where the ball was at the line of scrimmage, but nonetheless, now 3rd and 15 for Pius, and we'll see if they try and air it out again here.
Trips to the top of the screen for the Bolts. This time, Waverly doesn't bring
Good
pressure.
Protection.
And overshooting Morrow there. Pius will be forced to punt.
Tough throw. He got time, but it was a route that took some time to develop. Trying to get the first down. You can see in the corner of the screen there, Morrow. Yeah, just didn't have a lot of room there. The sideline was his enemy. Good job not throwing an interception there. But that was a high level of difficulty throw. And once again, a sack and a penalty cost the Pius offense for the 2nd straight drive.
Punt received near the 20, and look out, a chance for a Waverly return. That is Axman, who brings it up near midfield.
Doesn't even get a break on special teams.
You get the sense he likes having the ball in his hands.
He does. He looked good too. Just really runs hard there. Watch the contact coming up right after this.
Yeah, you can't really arm tackle him.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that probably happens with him as the game gets later and later. He gets harder and harder to take down as fatigue sets in. But there you go, Pius. I can't say enough about the way that this Pius defensive line is played when Waverly's tried to go up the middle tonight.
Nathan Axman.
There was Goki in on the tackle for the Bolts. This second quarter, it's brought to you by O Street Carpet. Go check out Steve Carper and the crew at O Street Carpet near the intersection of 17th and O. O Street Carpet, they will take care of all of your flooring needs. Second down and 8 after that Axman carry. He already has 8 so far tonight.
Yeah, they're going to run it. Depending on how tight this game stays, it could be in the range for 30 carries for him tonight.
Templey will drop back, going for the corner route. Incomplete. Carson Malcolm just unable to quite haul that one in. Another look.
Had plenty of time there. Good coverage by Pius. Maybe could have grabbed that one. Now I think we'll get to see Templey throw the ball again here. See if Pius can get any kind of a rush on him.
Third down and 8. Here comes the pressure from Pius, and then they fall back on what was supposed to be a little jailbreak screen. Templey forced to throw it away. That is sound defending.
And we got a flag down too. I think they're going to maybe call lineman downfield here. An eligible receiver downfield perhaps, because you're right. I think that was supposed to be a screen. Let's see what we got here. Yep.
You're all over it.
Yeah. Well, and you pointed it out. It was going to be a little screen to the left in the Pius defensive end, and let's see if we can see who it was here.
I think it was Goki.
The right end. No, the right end here. Watch. Oh, no, you're right. There you go.
They're both like, wait a second.
Right.
This is too easy.
The ends kind of backed off, and great recognition by Pius. They practiced that play. They were ready for that play.
And Pius calling timeout. Yeah.
What if they saw something that they, some personnel they didn't expect there or something?
Well, we'll take a quick break as well. Early on in the second, it's 7-7 between Pius and Waverly here on NCN.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Welcome back. Coming out of the Pius timeout. Waverly still looking like they'll punt this away on 4th and 8. Morrow fields it. He loves getting out in space where he can be dangerous, and a good return for the senior. He gets it up to the 35.
Yeah, good punt, good return, just like we saw there for Waverly. You know, it looks, despite the kind of constant misting in the air, I don't think we got a lot of wind, a ton of wind really down on the field. I'm looking at the flags on the goalpost, and just a little bit, but not real significant. It was oddly comfortable still out there, I would say, although easy for me to say now, right? I'm sure there's some fans who have been in the stands for an hour and a half on senior night, and they're like, hey, we can come up there. You can sit in the stands.
Our brave camera operators, of course.
Or the camera,
elements.
right. They
Yep.
can tell me how nice it is out there. Maybe I ought to shut my mouth.
And the ball is on the floor again. I think Ryland Doring did get back on it, but that was a close call for Pius.
That's the second time with a different running back. Well, that time he didn't ever get the snap.
Man.
Boy. That is, I mean, it would just be a shame for Pius. Just to have something like that, because a play like that would turn this game pretty quickly. It feels like if you gave Waverly a short field like that, and had two of those now on. And again, I think that one was more about the snap than the delivery on the handoff. And again, you do wonder how much, you know, the ball being wet here as Waverly stacks. There is a strong play by that Waverly defense.
Nowhere for Doring to go in, and that was Gavin Ruskamp that he met at the line. Gavin Ruskamp and who else? His buddy Brady Schaefer as well.
And despite the fact that again it's not a consistent rate, the ball can get really wet, you know, throughout the course of that, with the kind of mist that we've got happening right now.
Well, 3rd down and 11. Play action. Miller met by Schaefer and almost ended up in Goki's hands.
They wanted to get him out, you know, get him out on the run there, and so it might not have any pressure. It looked like they got what they wanted, right? Goki kind of broke away there, and he's got a good throw. I think he probably gets that first down. And I say good throw, a throw where he didn't have someone taking him down while he threw it.
Well, another 3 and out for Pius. High hanging punt.
Ooh.
Takes a favorable Waverly bounce before being downed at the 40.
Right. Waverly take another shot at it.
Well, Lincoln High School Sports on NCN is presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Brandon Axmit and Jack Mitchell with you. Week 9. Say it every year. Hard to believe it's already week 9. Playoffs start next week for all 11-man. And as we mentioned in the show, Waverly has the number 1 seed secured regardless of the outcome tonight. Waverly, or Pius rather, could move a couple of spots should they get the upset.
Yeah, I know one of the matchups that Pius was looking at is it maybe going out to Scotts Bluff, which is probably a trip you'd rather not make for a variety of reasons.
Yep.
And so, again, it kind of goes to the motivation, perhaps stay closer to home, perhaps get a matchup that's more favorable in that first round. You could be talking a few seeds here for Pius.
Yeah, if you jump to 11, it could be Elkhorn North, McCook, Gretna, as opposed to Scotts Bluff, as you mentioned, which looks like it's what it probably would be if they lose, as Tepley chucking it up there for Gavin McMillan, who's unable to bring it in.
And guess who on the coverage? I believe that was Morrow over there. And actually a really good job there to see Morrow here. Not interfering, but just kind of still being a pain. I thought that was really good, because you throw a ball like that and you think, hey, about a third of the time you're going to be able to get pass interference too, even if it's not complete. And I thought that was great coverage there. And now 3rd down comes up for Tepley and Waverly.
Tepley to the air again, and it's picked off. Interception for Pius. That is just the 5th pick Tepley has thrown all season.
Wow.
Interception made by Caleb Davis, which is his 3rd pick of the season.
I don't think Tepley could throw into this because he was about to get. Yeah, I think that was part of it there. You see that? He kind of. That was not the footwork that he probably wanted, and it showed with that pass too. Didn't quite get into it, and Waverly turns the ball over. And if you're Pius's offense, you've continued to have these chances with the lead or with the game tied, and now you're getting deep into the second quarter. But you've got to be thinking, man, let's get any kind of points on the board here, especially as we get closer to halftime. You got to capitalize on some of these opportunities when you're playing the number 1 team in the state.
And that, unfortunately, won't help your cause. You had a
too many
false start there by Anthony Iberg.
Yeah, for as much as Pius has, struggled with some of the pressure on their young quarterback and penalties, still to be sitting here at 7-7, clean slate opportunity with this drive, although you're starting behind the chains. You would have definitely taken it coming into this game for sure.
And a good second effort there to get some few more yards for Doring back to the original line of scrimmage. Excuse me. Misread that. Gain of about 1. He was hit so far behind the line that threw me off there. He picks up 1. Could have been a loss of about 4.
I see Pius does the method, and I know teams use different ways of getting plays in. Of course, in high school you don't have the helmet speaker. Sometimes you'll have to send it in with a wide receiver, maybe have signals, but Pius has Miller running all the way to the sideline and verbally getting it and running back, which, if you're wearing your Fitbit, it's a lot more steps during the course of the game. I'm sure he's concerned about getting 10,000.
Yeah. Little shovel pass tomorrow. He gets about 2.
Sure, he woke up this morning and that was his first thought as he was starting.
How many steps am I going to get in tonight?
The third-string quarterback starting the game against the number 1 team in the state. I hope I get 10,000 steps. That was the same play they tried on the first play of the game as well there. And they've almost made up the penalty in these 2 downs. And here you are, 3rd and 11. I do just wonder one of these times again when you've got basically island coverage on a 3rd down, and they're tight here, so I don't think they'll do it. But when you just kind of put up a deep one on a 50-50 ball and figure if it gets picked, it's a punt.
Well, Miller in trouble. Ball is on the floor. And it's still bouncing around, but the Bolts do get it. Marcus Roberts recovers. Whew.
Wow. So that is, 3 fumbles? All recovered by Pius so far. And, wow. 17 had some big eyes right about here.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did that ball, couldn't see if it got batted down or hit his helmet, because he was going to try and just throw it away. Wow. And that bounced around on the pile quite a bit.
Man, that was Schieffer who blew it up originally for Waverly, and again, no harm, no foul. If you're Pius, I guess you're flirting with disaster. You're able to punt it away. And again, you have a great punt.
Really good punt.
And the ball is loose. Man. Waverly recovers, but okay.
Wow, that's
keeping us on our toes, Jack.
Man, that one maybe should have been a fair catch. Holy cow. He was right there. Oh, my goodness. And fortunate that he had his buddy there.
It was Ray Martin.
Martin to grab that. Holy cow.
Okay.
Fumble number 4, all recovered by the team who did the fumbling. One of these times, one of these is going to go the other way and shift this game, it feels like. If both teams keep doing it, and Pius has done most of them.
Pitch to Axman, and he's met for a loss. Pius defense all over it.
Pius is just stringing out those toss plays. Just a great job. Not getting too far upfield, keeping contained there on the edge. Really good job on several of those by that Pius defense.
Looked like it was Henry Sulter making the play for Pius out there.
Tepley's going to be anxious to throw it again after that last one.
Goki applying pressure, looking for Axman. Incomplete. Great hands by, who was that? It was Brody Johnson, the sophomore, making the catch for Pius on the sidelines.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boy, Goki is in. I really like the way Goki is playing tonight on both sides of the ball. There you go. You know, didn't make a sack there. It was kind of a last-minute hurry, but at that point, Tepley said, as soon as he had gotten around the tackle, Tepley said, all right, this one isn't going anywhere. An experience there from Tepley, you saw, throwing it away. I can't imagine. Tepley is going to, he's not calling the plays, but I got to imagine he wants to send a deep one here.
You're all over it. And that was coverage by Sluter again. And
these cornerbacks from Pius, I mean, you can't cover better than that. It was a good throw. It was a really good throw, too.
Fourth down.
Man. Just great coverage there. I think it was clean. I mean, maybe Quibbly had that left hand up on it, just a touch, but it didn't really impede him. I think that would have been kind of a ticky-tack call. And the Pius cornerbacks stopped 2 deep attempts here, and then, of course, the interception last possession as well.
Morrow will have a chance to return this. Made a fair catch.
That's the fair catch that Waverly needed.
There you go.
Traded.
All right. 2:48 to go here in the second quarter. It's a replay on that pass breakup brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital. It was Kale Lade, the intended target.
Well, how risky do you want to get here if you're Pius? You have averted disaster with a turnover a few times. Although you say that, they've all been running plays for the most part, right? You know, quarterback, running back exchanges, or I guess there was the one pass and the pressure on the quarterback here, but you got a clean handoff there.
That was a good hard run by Doring. Well, be sure to stay tuned for our halftime show brought to you by RMV Construction. Trusted, local, proven. RMV Construction, that halftime show coming up shortly, as that was a 4-yard Doring pickup on first down.
I'd like to see Doring run it more here in the second half, especially if Pius can get a lead. I really like how he runs. Both teams, by the way, with 2 timeouts right now, could come into play on both sides. If you're Waverly, you're going to do, I would assume, everything you can to make a punt instead of run clock down here. But, oh, my goodness.
Doring goes down hard after a hard-fought run.
Tackled by Caden Fritz.
Just taking the leg out.
Yeah, it's some Pius fans that didn't like that too much, although I don't know if the argument was that the whistle was blown. If the whistle hadn't been blown and he'd gotten his leg out of that like a little wrestling escape, he could have been off to the races.
3rd and 5, Morrow motions. There's that little shovel pass. He's forced to cut it up and met. Maybe, looks like they give him 2.
Yeah, I think they didn't want to.
Tackled by Gavin Ruskamp.
They didn't want to risk just a whole lot of pressure in the face of their quarterback there. Maybe a bit conservative intentionally with that one.
A good tackle by Gavin McMillan. And I believe Waverly took their second timeout here.
I would assume Waverly's going to take that timeout.
Conserving clock here.
Yeah, they want Pius to have to punt it.
Well, we're a minute 20 out from our halftime show, where we will be taking a look at our halftime highlights. Brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, where they have stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones at both of their Lincoln locations or in Grand Island.
So just setting the scene, Waverly, wherever they get the ball here after this punt, well, a minute 20, as you can see there, 1 timeout. Tepley's run these 2-minute drills before, including last week. And so it'll be interesting to see what this Waverly offense looks like when they're going to be a little bit short on time but can speed things up. Sometimes that can be just what an offense needs.
Play clock hasn't started yet. Officials signaling to the game clock operator. And now we're waved to start play. This is a high hanging punt. Out of bounds. Also, Waterboy, whoever that guy is, will great job making that catch there.
There you go. Also didn't call a fair catch.
No, he's ready to return it.
Yeah.
Out of bounds at the Waverly
All right.
43.
So, 57 yards to go. 116, one timeout. And again, Waverly's got a guy on the roster who can hit a field goal. Not necessarily. I don't know. I don't know his range in how far back he can go, but we know he can hit a pressure field goal.
There's a quick bubble screen to McMillan. He's pushed out near midfield.
Pass complete to Gavin McMillan. Run out of bounds by Henry Salter.
Just a third completion for Templey tonight.
A nice play because he got out of bounds there too.
Mm-hmm. They give him 5.
They tried that one this time on the opposite side as Morrow. Morrow broke that one up. A similar play during the first quarter.
And right back to McMillan on the near sideline for a first down.
Yeah, you kind of wonder if you can get Tepley in just sometimes just that higher pace. And I guess they haven't had to be that high of a pace because the clock's been stopped so far after every play. But you know you're throwing. Tepley feels like he's a guy who maybe can get into a little bit of a rhythm that way. And, of course, he's got to have protection as well, and Pius might be sitting back a little bit. They can't – the thing that's helped Pius a lot is having someone in Tepley's face tonight. And so they can't get too, kind of sit back in coverage here.
There's a little swing pass to McElhose.
Good job getting out of bounds. They haven't had to even go to that timeout yet. They haven't lost a lot of time. They're still over a minute. And pretty soon here you get much further, and you're not really going to have to worry about that clock a whole lot at all.
Fourth straight completion, rather. This time it's to Schaefer. And to your point, Waverly is cooking.
Exactly what we talked about. Getting it out of his hand fast, getting into a rhythm, getting these routes on the sidelines. It's been a really efficiently run drive by Tepley and Waverly so far here. And now they don't need to worry about the clock anymore for the most part. They got a timeout. You got 54 seconds. That shouldn't be a big concern now. To the point they'll run it.
Axman stood up after a gain of a few.
Tackled by Carter Goki.
And they quickly get back to the line.
I did wonder if they would use that timeout after running it. Maybe I spoke too soon.
And dropped off the hands of McMillan.
I don't know if I would have taken it out of Tepley's hand throwing the ball. Just it felt like the rhythm they had going there, and of course Axman's been the man for them all year. But not only did you knock 30 seconds off the clock, you didn't get much out of it. Felt like it kind of got Waverly out of that rhythm that they were in. Of course, they were hoping to catch Pius, I'm sure, off guard and get a chunk play there, and Axman's had plenty of them this year.
3rd and 7. Tepley Looking for Schieffer, incomplete. It brings up 4th down.
Yeah, I don't know if that was intended to be catchable or not. Pius defender, I think, almost got a hand on it. But a good job by Pius there, stiffening up there as Waverly got in the red zone. Yeah, maybe there's a lot of bodies over there. I think he was thinking, hey, I'm going to make it so if anyone catches it, it has to be my guy. If anybody catches it inbounds, it has to be my guy. Big field goal now for Waverly.
29-yard attempt. And it's wide from Landry Moz, which is interesting because Gavin Fowler's listed as the kicker and took the PAT. Ma is listed as a wide receiver DB.
Interesting.
We're not sure if Fowler's dealing with an injury, but Fowler's number 90. That's Moz. Maybe a reason why he was unable to kick it through the uprights.
I was going to say, because and why would they be looking at this now, but any Norris fan watching right now is saying, are you kidding me?
Well, okay, 17 seconds. Would have to imagine Pius will just get into halftime, but they will take that missed field goal, no doubt about it.
All right, well, boy, what a win for Pius there at the end of the half, and now they get to go in at halftime after taking a knee here in a tie game, and we may be able to hear Waverly's head coach talking to his team at halftime from our vantage point up here, because I have a feeling they will get a stern discussion about making sure they're taking this game seriously.
All tied up 7-7.
Well, that takes us to the break. 7-7 your score. Here on News Channel Nebraska, stay with us. Our RMV Construction halftime show is coming up next. Welcome back. It's time to jump into our halftime highlights that are brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, with stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones that can be found at both of their Lincoln locations, either at South Point or downtown Lincoln, as well as Grand Island. Let's take a look at our Sartor Heyman halftime highlights. It did not take long, Jack, to have highlights. Opening drive of the game, Dominic Miller, sophomore in his first start. That's how you attack it on 3rd and long, a 64-yard pass.
It wasn't any less impressive the 3rd, 4th, whatever time I was that I saw it for his first pass of the game, the sophomore starting here for the first time. So great play, and that really got Pius off on the right foot tonight.
After that completion, you get the ball to Doring, takes it in from 10 yards out, and the Bolts are on the board. Just under 3 minutes into this one, it's 7-zip Pius up on number 1 Waverly.
Yeah, great statement there by Pius on that first drive, and weren't quite as fortunate on their second drive.
So Waverly defense is tenacious. They did also get after Miller as well. Sack on the ensuing possession by that Viking defense. Now we're still late in the really got some stuff going offensively. You have Tepley throwing it up top to Brady Schieffer, who is the leading receiver for Waverly up to this point. It would put the Vikings in good position, Jack. It would allow them to score.
There you go. Went to the Wildcat here. Don't even mess around with handing it off, and went straight to Axman up the middle. Got Waverly's only touchdown of the half.
So 7-7 late in the first quarter after that Axman touchdown. That's his 17th touchdown of the year on the ground. This is the biggest run of the night for Pius. They get the ball to Ryan Doring again, and it's the neck roll, Jack, that provides all that speed and athleticism.
The neck roll throws me off. I don't think he's going to be making those moves, and they were just very smooth, very nice. So nice one here, and then this was one of those deep shots that was a little too deep with the pressure. Tepley wasn't quite able to step into it, I think, and maybe lofted it a bit. Pius got that turnover there.
Caleb Davis with the interception. Waverly was driving. It looked like they might get a few more points on the board to round out the half, but a missed field goal. So it remains 7-7. Vikings do get the ball to start the third. Those were your halftime highlights, brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Well, we're in the halftime show that's brought to you by RMV Construction. And tonight we're featuring a project that RMV Construction recently completed at Holdridge High School. RMV took out the old bleachers and replaced them with a 1,500-seat prefabricated grandstand and press box. And on top of the project, it included installing new field lighting, pavement, and support utilities to make the game day experience more safe, enjoyable, and accessible for the athletes, media, and fans that visit. RMV Construction is a general contractor in Kearney and Lincoln that can take care of all of your remodeling and educational construction needs, including new construction additions and remodeling. RMV Construction, trusted, local, and proven.
Direct your attention to the 50-yard line.
Well, we are about 4 minutes out from this second half. Let's take a look at those rankings. Jack, these are compiled by our team of announcers and reporters. We release them every Monday on News Channel Nebraska. And as we mentioned, Waverly, they are the number one team in our rankings, number one seed in wildcard points. They will be the number one team in the playoff bracket that is released tomorrow. Bennington and Norris moving around at 2 and 3. Although in Class B, Elkhorn North last night getting a big victory, as that could shake up some standings.
You look at
and a great story.
You look at these standings, and there's been a lot of talk this year about being so top heavy. But I look at this and I see, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 teams that I absolutely wouldn't want to face in state if I were going up against any of them. So this is shaping up to be, I think, an unbelievable B-State championship tournament here coming up soon.
Those are your top 10. And again, follow us on X at NCN Sports if you want to have quick access to our rankings every week, or additionally, our broadcast schedule, our interviews, our highlights, any and all of those things we push out on social media, not only on X, but on Facebook, Instagram, and you can catch our games and rewatch them on YouTube by going to News Channel Nebraska. Speaking of upcoming broadcasts, here they are for you. Coming your way, we have college football tomorrow night. Wayne State hosting Minnesota State. And then we'll have 2 broadcasts on Friday, one for our, well, we don't know. It could be one for our North, it could be one for our South, Jack. We also, if we can, we try to do a playoff doubleheader. And so we try to find one of the games where it's in the afternoon based on travel. Then we have a night game. The point being, stay tuned because I'm going to be busy with a few others on Saturday morning. As soon as those brackets are published, we start putting all of our magic formulas together to determine which games we're going to pick up Friday night. But it's playoffs coming Friday, and that's going to be exciting.
How about that playoff football on Halloween?
I know,
night? You got everybody wearing their costumes to the game, and like those opening games in B especially, but several places. I think there could be some upsets here that you're not expecting here.
So the point being, be ready for playoff football Friday in some form or fashion. Follow us if you want to know what we're going to be covering. We'll announce that as soon as we know. Then after those Friday playoffs on Halloween, next Saturday we have UNK football as the Lopers host Central Oklahoma. Then we also will have Doane taking on Morningside that same Saturday as well. And then the following Friday, so now we're getting into November 7th, the playoff quarterfinals, which again will be announced that weekend prior. And we will be covering more and more playoffs. 3 weeks of playoffs. We culminate our playoff coverage with News Channel Nebraska by covering that 6-man state final down in Kearney in mid-November.
All right.
So there you go.
It's going to be a great few weeks to watch News Channel Nebraska football, high school football, and college football for that matter.
Well, you have your whole slate ready for you. We have a whole other half of football to watch. We're tied 7-7 between number 1 Waverly and Pius. We'll take one more break, come back and get ready for kick. The Vikings get the ball when we start things here in the third quarter.
TN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. And by News Channel Nebraska. Want to know which games we're televising each week? Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
I spend with purpose because I bank with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. With my Liberty Plus checking account, I can earn extra cash just for spending on everyday things, like groceries, online or in-store purchases, and lunch. At Liberty First, anyone can join, so start earning money to spend on the things you love. Start banking with purpose. Start banking with Liberty First Credit Union.
He's there with me in the moment.
It is one of the best things I do every week.
Anyone can be a mentor. It comes back to you tenfold.
She got to meet me, I'm pretty cool.
I'm glad I have a mentor.
People actually care about me.
What you're going to receive is way more than you're going to give.
Once you get involved in teammates, you're kind of hooked.
It's the absolute best.
It gives me goosebumps right now talking about it.
That says it all. Be a mentor.
Join the team.
Be a mentor.
Welcome back. Brandon Axmett, Jack Mitchell with you. We're ready for kickoff here at Aldrich Field. 7-7. Jack, like you mentioned, maybe for Coach Manstead, you're getting after your players a little bit. If you're Pius and you're Coach Carney, you are ecstatic at where you're at currently at this point in the game.
And just to be clear, Pius has looked the part tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's been some kind of a comedy of errors by Waverly, but obviously you come in the situation they're in, coming off a win that, was your win of the season, that the whole state was watching us. We got a little bit of a fumble there. Oh, my goodness.
And it's turning into a big return for Lade.
Wow. That went from potential disaster to potential touchdown in the course of about 2 seconds here. And Pius, again, looks like they must have thought this is what they could get, because it's the second time they've done that, and just a weird bounce there for Lade. Nice job by him by staying with it, kind of like a shortstop, right? When it bounces off your chest, just kind of stay with it, stay calm, make the throw. And he did exactly that, and right exactly on midfield. But just getting back to what I was saying, right? For Waverly, had a big hit there. Jeez. Again, same play we saw in the first half, basically. Wow.
That would be Noah Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes
flying in there.
Barnes just flying in there with the contact, running back on running back violence. But again, Waverly, this game, as we've talked about a few times, does not change their playoff outlook. Although, look, there's no way. I can't imagine there's nobody who doesn't. There's something symbolic about being unbeaten, right? And beating your rival, obviously.
Well, there's completion to McMillan, and he gets to the outside edge. Big pickup, close to a first, about 12-13.
And I know this is true of the vast majority of games that you do, but, you talk about Waverly and Pius, and this is close to Lincoln versus Lincoln. Waverly is essentially, these are all kids who play against each other, whether it be in football over the years, whether it be in other sports. They all know each other. They're not from a town across the state. And so there's also a real rivalry factor here, I'm sure, as well.
And you mentioned something to being said about being 8-0, and then Coach Manstead didn't shy away. He said, we want to be playing our best football. We want to be on a wave of momentum. You don't want to go into the playoffs on the heels of a loss.
Not. Yeah, there's I can see exactly why he would think that. It's just there's too many problems that can happen. And
that is the second time. It's the same one, Sluter. He has that trademarked.
Sluter. Morrow had one too, but Sluter especially. These guys know, these defensive backs know how not to interfere. Might have got away with a hold there for Waverly along the offensive line, but you just kind of put the arms up like airplane style, make your body as big as it can be, and then the ball is just going off the backs of the Pius defensive backs 3 times now.
Well, 2nd and 10, Tepley to throw again. Axman's out in the flat. And look out, Tepley. He's still up. He's going to throw it. It's complete to Scheifer. 2-yard pickup, but it could have been about a 20-yard loss.
Oh, man. And Gamez is going to,
3rd and 8.
He had him.
And he did a great job not getting juked out there. And then I saw someone on something on the ground. It must be a hand warmer there. I thought somebody might have lost a shoe, but that appears to be Tepley's hand warmer. And Gamez got to grab that instead of his body and threw that to the ground. Oh, boy. Waverly, disaster averted there. It's still in a 3rd and 8 after all of that, but that could have been a 3rd, 25.
Tepley to pass again, and Schaefer just drops it.
That looked on target to me.
Broken up by
Let's see what happened here with this pass. Oh, man.
Catch that.
For injury.
It's a tough one. And then, I saw a Pius player down. I was wondering how he had initially gotten up. Wasn't a ton of contact on that play either.
No, he's the one who made the tackle. Sulter, and he's been the one who's making pass breakups. Well, we'll take a break. 9:52 to go here in the 3rd. 4th down coming up for Waverly.
A chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
A truck that's built to handle the toughest tasks. The GMC Sierra 2500 from Woodhouse Buick GMC. With available turbo diesel power, a reinforced frame, and advanced trailering tech, it's heavy-duty capability without compromise. Take advantage of exclusive offers happening now. Visit us in-store or shop online today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are
Welcome back. So Waverly punting it away. Sulter was able to jog off the field. So we'll keep an eye on that. Make sure he comes back into the game as that punt goes through the end zone for a touchback. Here's another look at what led to the injury.
Okay. He did still make a full tackle on the play there.
Pops up and then something didn't sit right, goes down.
Yeah, the way it looked, if I just looking for that play, I would have thought maybe a shoulder there, but that doesn't appear. He is on the sideline now, standing up. It looks like he's not even getting any attention anymore, so hopefully a good shot that he will get back in the game, because Pius has been relying on him a lot to, at least his back, to defend the passing game for Waverly. He's got bruises on his back also in addition to that injury.
There's Max Leininger getting into the backfield, nowhere to go for Doring.
3rd and 9. Correction, 2nd and 9.
Both of these teams have defended the run extremely well. You had that 117-yard run by Doring.
Yeah, that's
Other than that, Axman's biggest run was an 8-yarder, which was the first run of the game. Otherwise, -1, -2, 5, -1, 3, 2, 3, 3.
That is, Pius is just a commendable run defense, and by both sides, but especially for Pius with a guy who's put up numbers like Axman has this year.
Doring unable to get outside, forced back to the middle. Not much there.
And I feel like both of these teams is just,
Doring.
Hope we can only do so much, but they're both hoping they can break off at some point a big chunk run, and I think Waverly really probably expects to, but Doring looks like he's got that capability to do the exact same thing, and just haven't been able to do it. There's been great tackling, great swarm into the ball, great job stringing out the plays that are going to the outside toward the boundary. And now, 2 plays where you don't get much on the run, and now you've got your quarterback in a passing situation where he's gotten a ton of pressure the last couple of times.
There you have a little pump fake, and Miller, he took several hits as he goes down after a short pickup.
Yeah, he got hit pretty good there. he's kind of bounds when he runs here. He's got a lanky, long legs there, right? Good size for for a sophomore, and he may still add a little size too, and so.
It was actually about a 6-yard pickup for him. Still, Pius, I'm sure you're putting this away here.
Yeah, and I think maybe that was a design pump fake where he was supposed to look, kind of look the pressure off and get another shot with it, but decided to pull it down and run. Turned out, frankly, to be a good decision there, because again, the way these defenses are playing, it's a little bit of a field position game right now for both teams.
And this is Sulter to punt it away, so he is all right, it would seem, and that's a great punt. Fielded by McElhose, who gets to the sideline, and Goki forces him out.
Boy, kind of out-kicked his coverage there a little bit. A great punt. I mean, he had the Waverly guys retreating to get that one. Just had a couple of guys who didn't stay outside enough on contain and able to negate about a quarter of that punt's distance just with the return there, maybe more.
So this drive starts on the Pius 49. Tepley, little screen to Axman. Ball is out. And it is recovered. Recovered by George Mettinger. Pius takes over.
They did it again with the screen pass. Those Pius defensive ends were not fooled either on both sides. Same exact thing. And they weren't really the ones who ended up making the play there. It was the strip there by Mettinger, and he got the recovery. Man, that ball.
I can't believe it stayed
I can't
in.
believe that ball stayed in.
And then for Mettinger, that takes focus to not knock it out of bounds yourself when you're trying to regroup the ball.
His teammate looked like he was going to have a shot at it. He kind of knocked it a little further and somehow didn't knock it out of bounds. And boy, there's the break. We've been wondering if it was one of the fumbles eventually was going to hurt one of these two teams, and we saw it.
You see, going for the kill shot. Miller unable to connect with Morrow.
All right, let's take a look one more time
see that
at
recovery again.
At the fumble and just how close this was. There you go. Look at those defensive ends, and then Mettinger
stands him up, knocks it out.
I think it was his Mettinger's left hand there and hits Mettinger's hand.
Man,
kept his feet in bounds. He kind of had to tightrope that a little bit, so he didn't go out of bounds as well. And back to Pius having the ball. I wondered if and when Pius was going to take a shot like that again, because they've so generally just got man coverage. Waverly is dropping some guys back occasionally, and there's a little bit of a hole. And I think they thought maybe on that first down play it was going to be another zero. Waverly's bringing those safeties up in run support so often, you wonder if Pius thinks they can eventually get one of those, especially if they are confident that the receiver can win a 50-50 battle like that. But that one was just a little under. I mean, it's just a little too far.
That was a 5-yard pickup by Doring. Now you start asking yourself, are you getting close to being in two-down territory for your Pius?
Yeah, you might run it twice here.
Another decent run.
That's what they were thinking, I think. Well, now I can't imagine they wouldn't be going for this. Otherwise, you're risking an 11-yard punt if you have a touchback. So
Pius, offense staying on the field, need 2.
All right, what do you think? Is it too obvious to go to Doring here, right up the middle?
I think you do it. I think you trust him. Is that Doring? Yeah, Doring's still in there. Or you might look for that Morrow little shovel pass they've tried a couple times, and I think Waverly will be on top of that.
No.
Doring going out to the flat.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that could have been a pick 6 really easy. Leininger all over it. Instead, it's a turnover on downs.
They thought I don't know if you would call that overthought it, but I just think they had in their head that Waverly defense will be expecting it. They also had crossers in the middle of the field too, and right off the bat, peripheral vision, I think Doring looked like he had plenty of room to get that, but missed opportunity there for Pius, taking advantage of the turnover, and
goes to Axman.
Waverly back in business, kind of as if nothing happened now.
Just over 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. It's brought to you by Husker Rehab, where they treat the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. Husker Rehab. That was a first down pickup by Axman.
First down at the 51.
Yeah, one of Axman's more productive runs of the night. And still wonder if Pius is going to be able to keep up this really strong rush defense as the game goes longer and Axman continues to pound away.
Completion to Grover Camp, his second reception of the night.
And now Waverly kind of maybe looking to get going in that rhythm that they did at the very end of the first half before the missed field goal, where they had four completions, I think, during the course of that drive, with more of kind of some quick hitters.
Right up the middle, Axman, another good run for him, right at the first down marker.
It feels like there's just a little bit more room for him in the second half.
They do move the chains, so first down Vikings. Ball on the Pius 49. 4 minutes and change left in the third quarter. Looks like about the same play to Axman.
Yeah, it's starting to see the holes open up a little bit for Axman as this game gets later. That Pius defensive front was so stout so many times when Axman was just stood up at the line of scrimmage, and things look really different right now.
Most recent run, a 10-yard pickup, another first, ball on the 39. 3 wide for Waverly. Back to Axman. And that's Goki who got him. And flag comes in. That will be a face mask, I'm assuming.
Yeah, couldn't tell if he got his face mask or it must have been the face mask because the flag was thrown immediately. It looked initially like it might have just kind of been his jersey or even a horse collar, but yeah, it was a face mask.
See if we can see.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll also see if they. Oh yeah, all right. Eric Crouch knows that one was a face mask.
Yeah, was that 02?
98.
Was that 98?
98.
Kansas State, right?
Yeah. Okay, well they definitely marked that one 15 yards.
02 is Jamal Lord.
Yes.
Okay.
02 is Jamal Lord. That was tough too.
Yeah, that was the big striped pants where our turnover problems began.
Yes. Okay, Waverly's in business now. They were here right before the first half though, couldn't convert it to any points.
Well, Tepley drops the ball.
Are you kidding?
And Pius picks it up. That was an unforced error by the quarterback.
That is as much as a gift as you can ever get for a defense. Just lost his grip. And again, it looks like it's not misting anymore out there, so it's actually really let up. And so I don't know if that had anything to do with a wet ball or just weird positioning.
Man.
But my goodness. Pius is living right in this third quarter. Holy cow. They've got to get their offense to convert, though, on one of these, because at some point, you got to think people just dropping the ball is going to dry up.
Maybe a yard for Doring up the middle.
Pius has found themselves just a lot of times in that 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, or even longer range where you know your quarterback is probably going to be in a passing situation here. If they could get to kind of stay on schedule a little bit more, 3-4 yards on first down, 3-4 yards on second down, and make those third downs more manageable, I think it would do some real good for that young quarterback.
Getting a look at Carter Goki, who recovered that fumble. He is a force defensively, one of the leading tacklers for Pius, and he's hoping that this sets up something for his offense, as there's a couple more there on the ground. 14th carry for Doring.
Yeah, another one there where Doring looks like he's got kind of that explosiveness where he could take one a long ways. There's just been solid tackling in this game too, both sides. Not a ton of broken tackles by these running backs when they've had room, which frankly has not been all that often. But
we have a big 3rd and 6. Miller drops back, gets it to Morrow, who makes a move. That's a first down for Pius.
Great job by Morrow there, because that throw, while it was on target, it was a little high, so Morrow had to leave his feet and lost some of his momentum. He led him like he wanted to, but Morrow left his feet, and breaking that tackle was what was needed to move the chains there. And big one there for Pius. And we are now, boy, this has been a fast third quarter, but we are coming down to the final 90 seconds of this third quarter here. What a great game.
Lincoln Sports on NCN's presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Game is also presented by Teammates Mentoring. Join the team, be a mentor. Go to teammates.org today, as there's not much up the middle on first down.
Yeah, he had two guys waiting for him there, didn't he? Oh boy, that's a heck of a job there by number 9 for Waverly.
Wilkin and also Ryland Kraszewski, who were saying you're not gonna get much on this one. In fact, it was a loss.
There's been all around impressive defensive line play for both sides. Some really smart, good defensive line play by these guys.
They get it tomorrow, who tries to reverse fields. And some Pius fans saying they wanted a face mask.
Man. They may have a point here. They didn't. There's no flag on the field, unless they're just saying he didn't get his fingers around it, but it looked like a face mask. Oh yeah.
Well, ends up being a 2-yard gain, and Pius with a 3rd and 9 will let the clock wind down.
Ooh.
Coach Carney's saying, "All right, crowd, let's get going. We got a 4th quarter to play. We got the number 1 team. We're tied."
There you go.
7-7.
Give us a little energy here.
Don't go anywhere. We got a great one in Class B. 12 minutes to decide this one. We'll be back.
It all starts at Big Red Motorsports in O'Neill, a side-by-side built to work with you on the farm or the ranch. A trusted partner when you're out hunting. And the adventurous speed to feel the thrill.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during their early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
At the racetrack or the rat race round town, fuel matters. Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel.
Welcome back. Coming out on third down to start the fourth. Incomplete pass for Pius.
Tried to get to the running back out of the backfield again, and wasn't a great throw, but he had a long ways that he was going to need to go to get that anyway. Although, might add some room, was going to need to break a tackle or two there. And once again, punter coming out for Pius. And these punts are getting bigger and bigger just in terms of, how much of a shift there is in terms of the field position. Because somebody's going to strike at some point somehow, and field position will likely be a big factor in that. Wow. Waverly was close on that one.
Salter. Oh, excuse me, that was Connor Shear who nearly blocked that thing. Not much of a return for Waverly. They'll start on their 31. Here's another look.
He got close to that one. They hadn't come from the side, the corner like that, or had gotten close yet to one tonight. There's been several punts. They kind of focused the rush up the middle. If they got one, I thought that's probably where they'd get it from. But, Pius punt team does the job again, and here we go. Long field for Waverly, 11 minutes, 44 seconds.
The last two Waverly possessions have ended on turnovers. An Axman fumble and a Templey fumble. This time Axman gets it for a short gain.
You just kind of have this feeling that Waverly trusts that Axman eventually is going to get loose on one of these. I don't know. Is he going to get those 30 carries that I predicted? He's got to be not.
He's at 16 right now.
16?
Yeah.
30 may be a lot.
Pius, to their credit, has been doing a good job containing him. Templey's pass batted down at the line.
That's a paw. It's never a hand when you knock a pass down. It's a paw, right?
And it looks like, is that number 22? Is that? No, it was
68. Knocked it down.
That would be Zeke Mollendorf. So yes, that would certainly be a paw. 260-pound senior. He was the one that Coach Carney said he's probably the anchor of our line.
He barely looks like he's wearing any pads. The big guys in my day wore so many pads. The pads weighed as much as the guys did. He looks like he barely has any on. Oh, boy.
Well, completion on 3rd and 6 keeps the drive going for the Vikings. That was a catch made by Kruger Camp.
Waverly's best option in the passing game continues to be along the sidelines, the quick hitters, right? Getting the Pius defensive backs on their heels because they've been with them on the deep balls, and that's continued to work.
Axman wrapped up and stopped for a minimal gain. That was Zeke Mollendorf. He had the paw. Now he has the bear hug. Just wrapping him up, nowhere to go.
Those are the type of guys that we didn't see size-wise from Pius over the last few years.
No.
And especially, they had some problems in Class A a lot of times because of that. They had some of the skill guys, but just didn't have the size that a lot of the teams they were going up against did. And I'd say they've got it. That is not a problem tonight.
Yoki cleaning that one up after the short completion to Lade.
Boy, Pius just continues to be ready for kind of the screen game, the horizontal passing game. Again, kind of cheated the block on that one and blew that play up. They've been so it looks like they just kind of have been looking at Waverly's film a lot and determined, hey, these are these plays that they've been killing people on, and we've got to be ready for these, and they have been for the most part.
Well, big completion on 3rd and 8. Schieffer with the catch. The drive continues.
Nice throw by Tepley. Had time. Right in there. Clutch throw.
14-yard gain.
At the Pius 33.
Waverly pushing it down the field now, continuing the drive for the second time on third down. It's now ball on the Pius 33.
Waverly going really tight here on 1st and 10. That's interesting. And they're
some personnel issues, and Vikings will take a timeout.
Interesting choice to go the tight, the formation we only saw at the goal line so far tonight on 1st and 10 at the 33. You wonder if they've got something up their sleeve here with this.
Well, this has been a fun one.
Yeah.
Still 8:44 to go. Final game of the regular season. Senior night here for Pius. Playoff implications for the Bolts. Should they win, they could jump up a couple of spots in the wild card.
What stood out is these look like two really well-coached defenses is the way I would describe it so far. There have been some mistakes on offense. There have been some drop balls. There have been some passes that quarterbacks and probably some hurried throws. But just overall, yeah, I've had a couple of face masks that are tough to avoid, but just really fundamental, not getting beat, not making a fatal mistake in any situation, and that's why you got both teams still in the game at 7-7. You're going to stick with that Maryland eye.
All right, coming out of the timeout.
Some kind of play action? Nope.
Just Axman, who's trying to get to the edge. Morrow with a great tackle in the open field.
You know, I think maybe part of the reason they do that is because Pius has done such a good job of kind of stringing things out a little bit on the outside, and they thought, okay, it's kind of like when we watched Columbus, right, a couple of weeks ago, which a whole bunch of their offenses on it. By the way, another really good tackle there by, arguably the best player for each of these teams, or the best offensive skill players for each of these teams. What do we got here?
So a hold against Waverly will negate this run.
Wow. One of the better runs for Waverly tonight.
While they walk this off, we want to remind you to stay tuned for our post-game show. It's brought to you by Custom Sports, from screen-printed T-shirts to sublimated jerseys. They have what your team needs to look great. Check them out at customsportsco.com.
Yeah, but Morrow again on that tackle, just really, really solid tackling tonight.
So Axman up the middle on 1st and long.
And again,
it's a good chunk.
And again, had a hole, but a solid tackle.
Second down.
Pickup of 6 on that replay, brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital. Incredible care, incredibly close.
It's earlier than you would normally say this in a game, but just with the rhythm of this game, I'm looking at the clock right now.
Yep.
Because it kind of feels like there's one more score coming.
And Morrow on the coverage. Was that caught?
Catch that? Wow.
Hauled in by Gavin McMillan. What a play.
And Morrow still had great coverage on that, and that was a pinpoint throw here. Let's see if he... Ooh. Well,
you can't.
No replay here. And I'm not even saying that I would for sure think he didn't catch it, but that's one, who knows anymore with some of the replays there. But that's a catch. That was a great throw, great catch. And now they're going to try and get to the outside again. And they did it this time.
And Axman fighting for the end zone. He's in. 29-yard pass to McMillan sets up Axman's 8-yard touchdown run, his second tonight, and Waverly finally breaks the deadlock.
Well, that's interesting. They saw something and they decided, hey, we're going to go tight with the Maryland eye and try and get on the outside there. Two running plays in the row, sandwiching in between Tepley, making a great throw on that pass. The only place it could be, he was tired of throwing it and just hitting the Pius defenders right on his receiver, so got a little bit more air under the ball to give his receiver a chance and took that chance and made it. Great play. Uh-oh.
Well, now you have Fowler back in. The PAT's no good.
Oh.
The 2-point conversion is completion to Nathan Scholl on a botched PAT kick. Waverly ends up with 2 points.
Boy, what a shift there.
That was not intended to be a fake.
And in fact, if it had been handled, that Pius might have blocked that kick.
Okay, a lot happening
Wow.
now. 15-7. Number one, Waverly up by 8 after that last scoring exchange. Do not go anywhere. Pius looks to respond when we return here on NCN.
Plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
Welcome back. First score of the game since late in the first quarter. Waverly now finds itself up by 8, 15-7. And
Another
now
kick
Pius
out of bounds.
Forced to respond in. Another kick will help the Bolts.
I saw one of those earlier.
Kick infraction. Ball will be placed at the 35.
All right, we'll see how Pius attacks this now. You know, how, if they get to a 3rd and long, how aggressive they are. Would they still be willing to kind of play a little bit of a field possession game, knowing that you've got 6:52, you've got all of your timeouts left? I mean, ideally, you move it right down the field. And then also with that 2-point conversion, realizing that, yeah, ideally it's a one-possession game, but if you have to, it might make you think about taking a field goal when you wouldn't otherwise in a game like this.
Pre-snap whistle.
Officials timeout.
Looks like we got some kind of an equipment issue or something here. Had a couple of those tonight. And as the new lineman comes in, his line mate tells him to play in his ear hole there.
Sticking to the ground on 1st down. 4-yard pickup.
No wonder he was able to say it so quickly. It was just like
run
off the middle. On 2. Break.
Simple game, really. 16th carry for Doring.
4 yards on that one, though.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about now. That's
Second down.
if Pius can avoid these 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, 3rd and less than 5 ideally is where they want to be.
All right, Miller to the air. He finds Morrow. 1st down and a little bit more as Morrow gets across midfield.
I wasn't sure where Morrow was going, but he was, and that actually was a great cut that thing inside and ended up adding about 7 yards to the run after catch there.
This is his 5th reception tonight. He's nearing 100. He had that first catch for 64.
Really nice throw there, too. Kind of feathered it over top of the defense. Miller showing some poise there.
Doring met at the line. Looks like he'll get 2.
I mean, just a massive of humanity there. About 16 of the 22 players on the field were in a 4x4 box there at the end of that play.
Well, it sets up rather 2nd and 8. That replay brought to you by Mead Lumber. Nearing the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, at some point with this clock running, and I don't think Pius is thinking two possession game anyway, but you realize, hey, this is pretty much going to be it. Pius does have 3 timeouts, but I mean, as long as you're doing this, it's going to take some time off the clock.
That one only about a yard.
I don't know. Is this absolute 4-down territory for Pius here?
I think probably.
You got 3 timeouts. Just as well as their defense has generally played, especially against the run. I don't know. I think you're right. I guess we'll need to see what happens on this play, though. The 3rd and what is a big question.
Miller gets it to Doring. It wouldn't have been for much even if he caught it.
Oh, man.
Sets up 4th and 6.
He has a missile coming at him there. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was a Gavin Ruskamp.
And luckily for Pius, that was incomplete. Number 1, I think you might have lost yards otherwise. Number 2, it stops the clock. So here, to my question, it is 4-down territory. I might have at least given a thought again. Just a thought with all the fumbles and the odd things that have happened and the way the rushing defense has been, but it is only 6 yards to gain here, so I understand the call.
All right, play action. Miller throws it up. Incomplete. Ooh. Pius fans thought the Waverly defensive back got there early.
It was close.
They aren't going to get the call.
It was close.
It was close. Here's the throw. It
looked like a better call on the replay than it did live to me.
Well, now Pius knows what it needs to do. You have 3 timeouts. You got to hopefully force that 3 and out to have a shot. Axman up the middle on 1st.
Yep, and at very least, I think you're going to see 3 Axman runs. Oh, you wonder if they try something maybe on 3rd. Pius still going to save that timeout for now. We are still 3.5 minutes left, so.
Second down and 7. And Axman, he's close to a first. If he doesn't have it, looks like he does.
Yeah, there he got a broken tackle. There haven't been a lot of those tonight, but that was the extra oomph that he needed to move the chains. And now or very soon you're going to start to see those timeouts being used as some mass substitutions here for Waverly there. Might be bringing that tight formation back in, no?
Looks like you have Tepley split out wide.
Is that what this is?
Yeah,
they've got Axman. He fumbled it!
In the Wildcat. Ball is on the ground. He recovers. Wow. Wow.
I'm promising you that's the last time we're going to see that.
Jeez.
He started run. It was kind of a Wildcat where he was going to sweep to the right. Well, I noticed they were making surprising mass substitutions, almost like it looked like you were bringing a punt team on or something like that, and it was obviously some things that went along with that Wildcat package, but boy, break for Pius there. And what, our 6th, 7th fumble of the night?
I've lost
by
count.
both teams combined?
I think that sounds about right.
Maybe more.
Man. Well, be sure to stay tuned for our post-game show. We'll be talking to a player of the game from whichever team comes out on top. And it'll be brought to you by Nebraska Orthopedic Center, where they are your healing destination. .213, or rather 2nd and 13 with 2:44 to go in what has been a great game between number 1 Waverly and Pius. There you're getting a look at Goki, who very well could be making a play defensively for the Bolts. They'll need him to. He's been making plays all night.
Great game tonight. There's a Maryland eye again. They've been using it to run outside. Might go up the middle with it this time.
He's going to set up 3rd and about 8.
That fumble, though, just sets him back. And now 3rd and 7. Pius uses timeout number 2 there. And now if you're Waverly, there's got to be a temptation, I'd imagine, to say, all right, we're gonna run a little play action here and let Tepley put it up here and maybe put the final dagger in Pius. Because 3rd and 7, although, you know, the way Axman's starting to get a little bit more room, breaking a few more tackles, still very solid run defense generally. I think if it was a you make the call situation, I'm still giving it to him. Making Pius use that timeout, even if you don't get the first. But the temptation's always there when you got Tepley at quarterback.
Right. This has been one heck of a game.
Great game.
All right, we'll see what Coach Manstead decides to go with offensively here. Go to the air, keep it on the ground. Looks like that's Axman again. Yeah, Axman in the Wildcat.
I guess I was wrong.
And he looks to get it outside. That'll be a first down.
Wow.
And will seal the game, or should, for the Vikings.
Boy, that's some trust by the Waverly coaching staff. And certainly they've run Axman and done that many, many times this year. But just coming off of that fumble that last time, I think if it were me, I would have just said, you know, let's just go pretty vanilla here with this. Let's make sure the quarterback is the one we want to have catching snaps. But then again, I'm not coaching the number 1 football team in Class B right now.
2 minutes to go. Pius with just the 1 timeout. There's the run up the middle by Axman for a couple. And Pius does now use its final timeout. Axman's at 24 carries. You said, will he get to 30?
Yeah.
He's going to probably be
I
just
think he can only probably 2 more maybe.
2, yeah. It's been a tough go on the ground for Axman. He's had to earn every yard he's picked up.
Still doing a little math here. You've got 2nd and 8. And so Pius is out of timeouts now. But in theory, if Waverly doesn't pick up another first down, Pius should still have a chance either at getting I suppose Waverly could attempt a field goal too, although their kicking field goal PAT game has not been very solid tonight. But in theory, if they would have to punt or would go for it on 4th and not get it, Pius end up with the ball. Well, still about a minute left on the clock or so, depending on when that game clock gets running. That's assuming that Waverly runs it twice. But first things first, Pius needs to get a stop here.
There's Axman hit after a short gain.
Another solid tackle by Pius. Clock runs now, though. And it'll be more like if they let the clock run here after another play. I said a minute, but it's going to be more like 40 seconds probably. maybe even closer to 30. So some level of temptation for Waverly just to take a knee or do the lowest possible risk running situation you've got in your playbook here. Instead, they put Axman in the play they tried to run earlier.
Tries to string it
bounce.
out. Yep, he stopped. No gain.
I think that's the play that they fumbled on earlier.
Nathan Axman on the carry. That's why George Maniger.
We only have my math was wrong on the play clock there. We only have a 15-second difference here. So if Waverly would run a play here, offensive play, not get the first, Pius is going to take over with 15 minus the length of the play. So
you're saying there's a chance. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, I suppose.
Not great for Pius. Certainly.
And you almost wonder if does Waverly think about, do you think about punting here? Do you just take a knee? Do you mess around with running around? And by the way, the mist has come back here.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you punt it. I think
you probably just give it to Axman again, whether you snap it to him or hand it to him, and you say you protect that ball, with your life, and you don't need to necessarily fight for every extra yard. Don't let him stand you up for sure. Because honestly, that's a worst case scenario than getting taken down and not getting the first down, because Pius is going to need obviously a miracle and a 2-point conversion.
Yes. We've seen some crazy things happen tonight. Several fumbles, balls on the ground. Waverly lines up with 2 wide to the near side.
They're going to pass it. Of course they are.
Dropping back and just chucking it up.
Hail Mary. Got it.
Oh, wow, it's caught. Is that a touchdown? It is. 28-yard touchdown strike.
Well,
why not?
I don't believe that was one of the options we contemplated.
That's why we're not coaches, Jack.
Yeah, I think I've proven multiple times over the course of the second half why I am not, though. I guess you just figure, hey, we throw it up there. If it's an interception, probably like a punt. Dangerous, you get a pick six, but or your quarterback gets sacked and fumbles it. But
well, that's Brady Schieffer. His 5th reception goes for a touchdown.
Well, this score, when people see it, tonight on News Channel Nebraska or read it in the papers tomorrow, is not going to be indicative.
No.
Of what this game was, for sure, and that's too bad for Pius. Although what a boost for Pius going into the playoffs, right?
Yep.
You're not going to play a higher seeded team than Waverly, no matter who you face in that first round, and they hung with them. And again, I mean, it's essentially a one-possession game. That they had a shot, that they were in on Waverly's side of the field with a shot to tie the game in the last 3 minutes of the game, and couldn't do it with their backup quarterback, right? And if they've got Easley back coming up next week, and that'll give some more confidence to this team. But you got to take your hat off to Dominic Miller and the way that he played, and a whole bunch of these seniors on Pius for the way that they played tonight. And of course, same to especially that Waverly run defense as well. You had a bunch of times where it felt like Doring was on the verge of tearing one off, but again, solid tackling, solid line play up front by that Waverly defense, and not making defensive mistakes tonight.
Well, and to your point about Pius momentum. You know, they hung with Waverly in this same game last year, week 9, and then they drew the number 2 seed Seward in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they gave Seward a scare, lost just by 1.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to see, you know, if you're a 4 or 5 seed, I don't think I'd be too excited about seeing Pius here. Oh, and there's another fumble.
Morrow's ball pops out. Not going to matter, though. That's the game officially. So Waverly will survive Pius. The final score here tonight, 22-7. The number 1 Vikings remain undefeated on the season, get the late touchdown, and we'll head to the playoffs as the top seed. Pius will probably be around that 13 or 14 mark, but they also advance to the postseason. Don't go anywhere. Our post-game show is coming up next here on NCN. Welcome back on our post-game show. Joining us, Coach Manstead, and our player of the game, Nathan Axman. Coach, we'll start with you. That was what would you call that, a fun one? Would you call that a not fun game? What's your assessment of how things played out?
Well, I'm proud that the boys came out and found a way to win. I mean, obviously some things weren't going our way. Weather is not necessarily ideal tonight. Ball was a little bit slick, and we did not only lose the turnover battle, but it was lost bad. I think we were 4-0, and so to overcome that, that's a positive thing, to be able to overcome a turnover margin like that and still find a way to win. And like I said, too, I think it still says a lot about the boys that they were able to, overcome the adversity of those turnovers and find a way to win there at the end. So, positive spin on that there.
A little bit of adversity as well for you when Pius came out and hit you in the mouth on that opening drive, and you were able to respond in the first. So how do you feel your boys did related to that as well, and what did that do for the game with them coming out and scoring on that opening drive?
Well, credit those guys. Credit Pius. I mean, that was a very inspired team tonight. They had a backup quarterback, and they still came out and played their butts off, and they always do. Coach Carney does a great job with those guys. But you know what? Came out and obviously get them into 3rd and long, and then they connect on one. They just fit a ball in between 2 kids. And that was really the one play they got in the first half. That was kind of our message to the boys was, they've only had just a couple plays that got them down there for that first score. And so just trust the process and don't panic. And you know what? I thought they responded well to that.
Myself and Jack, we were speculating on that 4th down at the end of the game. What do you do? And walk us through your decision there. That's what you drew up, right? The 28-yard touchdown.
Exactly what we drew up. To be fair, we were trying to think of a play that had a high efficiency. You could get a pass interference. You could obviously complete it like we did, or you're just going to take more time off the clock and get set up so then they maybe have one more shot down the field. We get our prevent defense out there. So, if it would have been a little bit closer, I'd have felt good about running some sort of run play to Nathan here, but obviously we were in that 4th and 8 range, 4th and 6 range, somewhere in there that was just kind of out of the reach of what we wanted to do.
Well, speaking of Nathan, we're bringing him in next. 25 carries, 95 hard yards. What does he offer your team? What type of player is he?
Well, he's a physical runner. You know what I mean? And on a night like tonight when the weather's not great, you need that. And you can rely on him. Obviously, we didn't want to have him carry the ball that many times tonight as we're heading into the playoffs, but you got to do what you got to do to win, and he answered that call, and I was proud of the way he handled himself with overcoming a fumble in there and not getting his head down and doing a lot of great things when his team needed him to.
Coach, appreciate it. Best of luck with the playoffs and the number 1 seed.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring in Nathan, our Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game. You heard the stat line, 25 carries, 95 yards. 2 touchdowns. Most importantly, though, you got the win. So how you feeling after that performance?
Oh yeah, it was a little bit of an ugly one for us. It wasn't the prettiest. The weather, and then just the turnovers, like Manstead said. But got to give credit to those guys over there. They came out and fought hard. But we got a lot better teams in the future to play in the playoffs, and we just got to fix a couple things, and I think we'll be all right.
Speaking of which, you're undefeated heading into the playoffs as the top seed. What do you think a game like this does for you as you now prepare for the postseason, what you can learn from it?
Yeah, obviously, like turnovers, just little mistakes, that's just on us. That's just something we got to fix. But, all these close games that we've been in have just proven that we can stick in these games no matter the adversity. And, last week obviously had the big win. And it was a close game, but I feel like if a team wants to win in the playoffs, they gotta compete and overcome the adversity. So, yeah.
And you being a big part of that and competing, you obviously get a lot of carries. Saw them working in the Wildcat for you, too. As a running back, is that something you enjoy or relish, or would you prefer to just run between the tackles, getting the ball handed off to you?
I love the Wildcat, especially when they trust me to maybe throw it a little bit. But I missed the pass last week that I'm kind of beating myself up over. But hopefully one of these days I can get that back.
Well, you got a few games ahead of you that maybe you can do that in the postseason when it matters most.
Yes, sir.
That is Nathan Axman, our Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game. Hey, best of luck moving forward.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, stay with us. We're wrapping up our coverage here from Aldrich Field. Tonight, 22-7, Waverly gets the win. They're your 1 seed in Class B moving forward.
The postgame show is brought to you by Custom Sports. Check them out at customsportsco.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. We have wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
A truck that's built to handle the toughest tasks. The GMC Sierra 2500 from Woodhouse Buick GMC. With available turbo diesel power, a reinforced frame, and advanced trailering tech, it's heavy-duty capability without compromise. Take advantage of exclusive offers happening now. Visit us in store or shop online today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
The postgame show is brought to you by Custom Sports. Check them out at customsportsco.com.
You're proud of the community you live in. Taking care of the people in it isn't a job, it's an honor. At John Henry's, we are being relied upon by the great people of Lincoln and the surrounding areas. A hard day's work means a happy customer, and making happy customers has been our goal all along. A team of expert plumbers, drain specialists, and HVAC professionals, dedicated to finding solutions for our customers. Because for us, a successful day ends with a handshake and a smile. John Henry's, our family serving yours.
Well, welcome back one more time to our post-game show here at Aldrich Field, brought to you by Custom Sports. 22-7 is your final. Let's go right to the top plays to wrap things up. Rainy, drizzly, Friday night in Lincoln as Pius hosting number 1 Waverly on senior night. Playoffs on the horizon. Waverly has the number 1 seed locked up. Pius, they're playing for wild card points should they get the upset victory. We start off in the first quarter. Oh, did I mention that Pius was starting its third-string quarterback, Dominic Miller, in his first ever start? And he does this on the game's opening drive. 3rd and long, connects with Charlie Morrow, who takes it 64 yards. An amazing touchdown-saving tackle by Riley Bowker, but sophomore quarterback unfazed early. That completion sets up the touchdown run. A 10-yarder, Jack, for Ryland Doring, and Pius is on the board.
Whole drive set that pass in particular set the tone for this game, and that Pius was not going to be an easy win here for this number 1 team.
9-12 when that score took place. Pius gets the ball next. Waverly's defense getting after Miller on that occasion. Sack by Sam Dakey will force the Bolts to punt. Waverly gets the ball back. Broxton Templey, the Division I product, completes the pass there to Brady Schieffer, who had a team-high 87 receiving yards on the game. Then you have the Wildcat for Axeman. He takes it in from 3 yards. Nathan Axeman punches it in, tying things 7-7 late in the first.
He didn't get the pass play there that he told you he wanted, but nonetheless, it worked for them to get 6.
So now, still in the first late, a great run by Mr. Ryland Doring, who had 62 yards on the ground for Pius. That was his best run of the night, showing his speed and agility for the Bolts.
Yep. He had a really good game, workhorse as well. Workhorse running backs on both sides tonight.
Midway through the second, Templey going to the air, and Pius, whose defense played great all night, getting the INT. That's Caleb Davis, his 3rd pick of the season. Nothing came easy in this one.
Yep, one of those 4 turnovers, and Pius had their chances because of those turnovers, and I think we'll probably still be seeing another one right here with
right
the strip.
On cue, yep. That would be George Medinger. Not only does he stop it with the tackle, he strips it, and he picks it up. Pius playing tough defense as we're still tied 7-7 in the third. Pius takes over. Critical 4th down, Jack, where Bolts go for it, unable to pick it up.
Yep, maybe get that out a little faster. He had a shot at getting that, but once again, a little pressure by Waverly made it difficult. They got that ball back. And then this, which I don't know if I've ever seen before.
Tepley just losing it. So Waverly Vikings were threatening late in the third, but ball goes on the ground, and Pius picks it up. We head to the fourth. It's still 7-7, which was the score we had late in the first quarter. Now, Tepley throwing it up on 3rd and long, and what a play made by Gavin McMillan, a 29-yarder to put the Vikings in business.
I think you got to say it's the play of the game right there, and they've been trying those, hadn't been successful. Tepley got a little bit of air under it, and a great catch there as well, and then that set up the Maryland eye and another run for Axeman.
Pitch to Axeman, this one an 8-yard touchdown, and that was a big one. His second trip to the end zone puts Vikings up by not 7, Jack, but 8, because you had a PAT attempt that goes awry, and you end up getting 2 points out of it.
Really heads-up play. Nice throw, by the way, too, there by the holder, and good awareness there by Waverly to be ready and do the fire drill there.
Cameron Dubas, the throw. Nathan Scholl, the catch on that 2-point conversion. Now with the game winding down, a 4th down, what do? Well, you just throw it up and you see what happens, and you end up getting a 28-yard touchdown on this occasion. Catch made by Brady Schieffer. His 5th catch, he had 87 yards on the game. That one a 28-yard touchdown. That was just icing on the cake for the Vikings.
I'm glad you asked the coach about that call because I was very curious.
He drew, that's exactly how he drew it up. And the 28-yard touchdown gives you the final score of 22-7. Number 1 Waverly survives the turnovers, survives a tough battle by Pius, and they will be the 1 seed in the Class B playoffs. Pius will probably be around that 13-14 mark, but they also make the postseason.